Hey friends, welcome back to the channel, man. As always, man, I'm stoked to see you, man. I really am. So today we're talking about the top field mistakes. I've been in and out of the field for the better part of over 20 years. So I guess it's not the better part. It's over 20 stinking years. Like, I'm starting to feel old now. And I've been teaching field craft, mountain operations, desert operations, jungle operations, urban operations. Man, in and out of all kinds of environment. Not only am I training in these things, but I've been operating in these things in real world, real life operational environments, as well as combat deployments, right? I'm not telling you that I'm the best out there, but I do have some experience in all of these things. And along the way of teaching folks and observing, right? Observing myself, making self-assessments, observing some of my battle buddies, my peers, my subordinates, and how they've been able to execute, plan, prepare, and assess our stuff, right? So this is something that I've been doing for a while, and I wanted to share 5 mistakes, the top 5 mistakes that I see dudes make out in the field. Right, I am looking forward to some of your mistakes from your own experience, so make sure you leave some comments down below. And by the way, man, that's what this channel is all about. It's all about mastering your field craft and developing your tactical virtue. If that's what you're into, and you want to stay up to date on some future content, then subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and you'll be on your way. So here we go. Top mistake number 1. Man, I've done it before, and I'm going to do it again. This is, right, maybe you were expecting some sort of physical field mistake, and this top one is not physical, right? It's mental. It's how we prepare to go to the field. I've been there before. I know what I'm doing. I can do it again. And what we fail to realize and to remember is every time we go out, it's always going to be different. And that's one of the reasons, again, why I love doing land navigation. Because every direction I go, every distance I go in the same direction, the variables are going to change. Every time you go out, you have to be able to be prepared to adapt to an ever-changing environment. Right? Does that make sense? So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, it's not going to be that bad. Man, I've been to X, right? It's not that cold and wind and rainy up here in the Pacific Northwest. Man, I've been to Fort Drum. I'm not going to freeze my fingertips. It's not going to be that bad when we go over to the desert because, man, I've been in the box. I know what hot is. It's not going to be that bad. And then I'd start making false comparisons. Let me explain something to you, friends. This is a big mistake. And again, this is a mental mistake that we make. Starting to see a common theme here, right? You can't take things for granted. Just because you've encountered or experienced something in the past doesn't mean that it's not going to impact you in the future. Because I promise you, like this week, I don't care where you're from, if you've been here for a minute and you walk out and you start running, man, your fingers, they're going to get cold, right? I mean, it's just that you put on your stinking gloves, right? Come on, do some PCCs and PCIs. I mean, come on. So don't make false comparisons. And not only that, but your peers, if you're in a group, they don't want to hear that crap. Like, well, back where I came from, this is how we did it. Man, you're not there where you came from. You're here now. Be a part of the solution. Next one is kind of physical, and I see this one quite frequently, to be honest with you, and that is a lack of PCCs. So this is mistake number 3, is people not doing their own combat checks. Pre-combat checks, right? That's what PCCs are. And PCI would be pre-combat inspection. So, we don't do that on an individual level. And if we have dudes in our charge, we're not doing it on them. And so what are we looking for? You should be looking at everything. Everything that you're taking out into the field. Your entire packing list. Like, every time I take this pack out, man, I have to go through it and make sure I have everything that I need. That I didn't take something out last time to clean it and I didn't put it back in because I know I'm going to need it. Or if I have a different variable that I'm going to encounter because I didn't, maybe some reconnaissance or just looking at the weather, whatever the case is, and I know I need to bring an extra whatever, that I've done my checks and I've made my checklist to go through it. And I don't care what you're doing, man. Like the wife and I, we went camping in our trailer this last weekend, and we're talking about getting some checklists for our trailer. Like, I have everything in my head, but man, wouldn't it be nice, because you're gonna forget something. So we're gonna make some checklists, right? It confirms your assumptions. PCCs confirm your assumptions, just like doing rehearsals, right? My experience is always more valuable than yours. This is more of a leadership failure when it comes to going to the field, or living and operating in an operational or deployment or field environment. That my experience is more valuable than yours. Friends, if you're in a leadership position, you cannot make this mistake. You can't do it. We need to walk with a little bit more humility, because even though, like, I've been doing this for 20 plus years, there's some dudes in my charge who may not be. Maybe they've only been in the Army a couple years, but some of them may have come from a particular location or just have a particular background that gives them a lot more depth of clarity in some certain skills or environments. And if I can tap into that, then they feel like they have some ownership, that they're part of the solution, they're part of this operations process. And that contributes to people buying into what we're doing, buying into the organization, buying into the brand, and not just collecting a paycheck, but as we used to say back when I was a wrangler, right, they're riding for the brand, all right? They see what they're doing as a profession, not just a paycheck. And so that's mistake number 4. Mistake number 5, right, is I learned it all on the YouTube, right? I learned it all by watching YouTube. Yeah, man, I know how to do that because I watched some videos and I know how to do this. No, I don't need to practice it because I know what I'm doing, right? I have the mental wherewithal. I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm like, friends, listen to me. You can't operate like this. If you've never tied a knot, you can't learn how to tie a knot by watching a video on how to tie a knot. You have to get some rope and tie some stinking knots. Does that make sense? I mean, come on. You have to rehearse what you're doing. So you also need to rehearse what you know how to do in different environments, right? If you're starting a fire, man, start a fire when it's raining. Do it when your life is not on the line. That's what we're talking about, field craft, right? So we're talking about basic survival techniques. We're talking about ways to make our life better in the field, right? Some basic bushcraft style stuff. If you're waiting until it's cold, it's windy, it's raining, it's snowing, it's dark, and that's the time you're trying to put your skills to test, and it's actual legitimate, man, you're wrong. Get in your backyard if you have to. Go over some of these skills. Refine your process. Refine your packing list. Continuously rehearse what you're doing. Rehearsals are everything. You're going to have all the mental knowledge in the world, but that's not going to do you any good once boots hit the ground and your fingers start getting cold and Murphy comes in and smacks you on the face. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So don't wait until you get punched in the mouth to have a plan B. Boom. Hey, if you enjoyed the content of this one, make sure you smash that like button. Consider sharing it out with a friend or battle who could use this information as well. Again, leave some comments down below so we can keep this conversation rolling and continue to learn from each other so we can master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Appreciate all you guys, man. Until then, you stay out there and you stay stoked.